Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Max Verstappen My Career episode 4. Let's get into qualifying.
Well, as the sun goes down, the speeds go up. It's almost time to get underway for this shootout for the fastest time and the best possible grid position for tomorrow's race. Let's get on with it. It's qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
So, time for qualifying in the Bahrain Grand Prix. As you heard him say, we are the championship leader, having won the first two races of the season and then come in third for the Japanese Grand Prix. Let's see exactly what we can get underway for this race weekend. Of course, as I said before, we're not doing any upgrades for the first half of the season, or maybe just a couple. Not really doing many upgrades, saving R&D for next season. And also just because I think the Red Bulls are rated a bit too higher than it is realistically in real life. Anyways, we're only doing one run. Miss the little two, turn in a bit too much there to take out the cone. But we're only doing one run here in Q1. So if we mess up and do something horrible, as we don't see Verstappen do very often in real life, but if we do that, we will find ourselves knocked out. But it's two green sectors. Well, obviously because we haven't set a first lap first. So two green sectors. Let's see what will be when we run to the line here in Q2. We run to the line. It is good enough for. Will we make it through or not? It definitely wasn't the best of laps. P13. So yes, made it through, but definitely had massive room for improvement. As just in general, I feel like we just didn't do the best that we could have. Anyways, our teammate in P4, Leclerc, on a provisional pole, I guess you could say, and Isaac Hadjar up in P3. That's a pretty interesting one to see. And we see Bortoletto up in a very high place as well. As we go deep into the first exit here, tires not exactly warmed up. I think this is a used the soft from last time. Since I wanted to do two runs in Q2, I used the scrub set from last time. But the front tires, as you can see there, still not quite fully warmed up. Anyway, we brake hard on the brakes for turn run, get a little bit better of an exit, heading into turn 2, nearly lose the back end of the car, and we continue on our first run of Q2. And go late on the slam on the brakes, try to let it run out just a bit, just go a little too wide on the curb there. Usually that'd be track limits, but since I have it to medium, it's not. Anyway, let's get up for P5, 131.6.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
But yeah, unfortunately, since I don't have the track limits up enough, it's not really, what it is. But it's just because when I turn up the track limits to the max, it just tends to be too strict. Anyways, I don't actually think we really needed to go out for Q2. Looking back, but at the time, it seemed very needed because you can see all these people coming in behind us. They still have to set a lap time, of course. So wanted to see kind of what they were going to set. And we nearly lose the back end of the car heading into turn 2. We have a little waggle as well. Let's see what we'll be running down to turn 3 with the DRS and ERS on. Let's see exactly what it will be. And it seems like an okay run, just letting the car glide through, getting on the power. And we're up 3/10 on our time already. We go to the end of the lap, up 7/10. Not the cleanest lap, but we are gaining time. Did not have the best of exits by any means. But we had an exit, and we run to the line, and that's gonna be good enough for P7 still. So the gap to P6 was pretty big. As you can see here, we are we were just in front of Yuki, and then we jumped a little bit farther in front of Yuki. So it turns out we didn't need to go out again. So we kind of wasted a bit of some tire there. We wasted a soft tire when we didn't need to, but is what it is. We'll still have 2 sets, I believe, for Q3. So still 2 fresh sets for Q3 could be worse. As we run to 9 minutes left in the session, I believe we're only doing 2 runs because we do not have 3 fresh socks. Even if we did have 2 sets of socks, we could go for 3 runs in Q3. But I just decided not to because it's just. It wouldn't really be fruitful, in my opinion. It wouldn't really be worth our time. As you can see, I believe that's Alonso behind us. That just, I don't know why he decided to go right behind us. I wish the AI would be a bit smarter when it came to qualifying. but it is what it is. We set up purple sector 1, green middle sector. Let's see what will be as we let the car run out, just skip over the curve a little bit. Empty out the ERS. DRS on 7th gear, run to the line. It's good enough for P3. It's a 130.1. Quite a bit better than
Understood. Stopping this lap.
could have been. There's a couple of points in the lap where definitely did not do our best. So let's see what will be here in our second run with fresh soft tires here. Trying to push to the limit. Let's see what we can do here. Emptying the ERS as we run to the line and continue on to the line. We've lost already down half a tenth as we slam on the brakes into turn 1. Already down to an entire tenth. As we run into turn 2, excuse me, nearly even on our time now, just slightly gaining. So far not the greatest as we run to turn 3, gain a bit more time, just lose the grip there, so we're losing time again. But it's still just enough to be purple sector 1 again, as you can see here. Heading into the end, we have been pretty much all over our lap time. Like, our lap time has been pretty much unimprovable, as for some reason, I just didn't quite turn there. I mean, it's not that I was on the limit that I couldn't turn, but
What the f there?
I don't know how to describe it, but like, it was track limits, but I didn't gain an advantage from it. That's what I'm trying to say. But we don't improve, so it's only good enough for
With
P4,
qualifying complete, all that
unfortunately.
remains now is the main
Leaves our
event.
teammate Yuki
We'll be
Tsunoda
live and
P8. Let's see what he
uninterrupted for
can
the
do.
Grand Prix tomorrow, so
Anyways,
make
it's
sure you
Lando
join
Norris
us
on
then.
pole, Leclerc P3, P2, Piastri, then ourselves, our main rival, George Russell behind us. Anyways, let's see what we can do as we get into the race.
It started as a day race, now it runs at night. Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit, and welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix. We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Russell, Fernando Alonso, and Hamilton, Tsunoda, Antonelli, Hadjar, and Gabriel Bortoleto, Norris, Sainz, Liam Lawson, and Albon, Behrman, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Nico Hulkenberg. Doohan and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Gruffy. Probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Right.
Okay, here we go.
So as we get into qualifying, as you can see there, by the way, Lando got a penalty. Anyways, we edit our strategy to go medium, hard, medium. But Lando, as you saw, he had pole. Now he got a penalty. 10 places. That brings him back down to 11. So very unfortunate for him. I believe he is our main title fight, either him or Piastri, one of the McLaren drivers. Or you could pretty much put both of them in there. They're really our title contenders here. Am I expected to win the title? I'm not expected to win, but I'm definitely going to give myself a shot. As I said, I'm not really looking to upgrade the car at all, really. Just because they make the Red Bull so fast in this game, and it's just kind of weird, but it is what it is. I do enjoy fighting for wins, but at the same time I want to make it more realistic. So, yeah.
Decent
gonna
parking.
do,
Let's try and get a
but
good
I am
launch
gonna
as
be
the lights
fighting.
go
I'm
out.
fighting definitely for a podium every
Okay,
weekend.
so
Every
that's the
weekend,
rest of the
podium's
grid
the goal.
forming up now.
Sometimes
Be
to win.
patient
Obviously, the
and
first
watch
two
for those
races,
lights.
win. And so now I think we're gonna kind of try to make it. So the difficulty is trying to fight for a podium. Anyways, as we go to lights out and away we go. As we get underway here in race 4, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Leclerc swinging the hard tire. Piastri blitzes him from the start, and we're going to get the pass done on Leclerc as well. That hard tire really gave him a hard start. We go around the outside of Piastri, and we are up into the lead of the race. As I said earlier, we are looking for podiums, but occasionally the win, kind of like what we see from Verstappen in real life, as Piastri threatens the dive down the inside, but we say absolutely not, and we roar around the outside in turn 3. Leclerc down in P3 with a hard tire. Alonso up to P4, beating Russell. So both Alonso and Russell, of course, benefited from that Lando. Well, actually, everybody benefited. Everybody in the top 10, as we go very deep there, everybody in the top 10 benefited from Lando's whole or 10th place differently. Anyways, let's go back to the replay to see how the start of the race ended up. As you can see here, I mean, it was such a bad race start for Leclerc that before even braking, he was behind pretty much both of us. And he tried to kind of get back at Piastri, but he was compromised because we came around the outside in turn 1. And as you can see here, Piastri tried attacking us into turn 3, and Leclerc was just trying to sit back and see what he could do. But we stuck around the outside, and Piastri really couldn't get anything done. We actually left him a fair bit enough room where he could have kind of left his nose in there and kind of tried to fight for it. But, you know, just didn't have the grip, didn't have the traction. And I was pretty on the limit there. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty asking quite a bit of the tires. I believe the tires were overheated just from that. But you know, it is what it is. Anyways, Leclerc P3, so he'll be looking to get back into that win
Okay, we're
potential,
monitoring
as you can
somewhere
say.
on the internal
Anyways,
combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to
it's
start to see a
start
loss of
loss of
power.
power because this is wear on the internal combustion engine. I haven't for a while now been upgrading
DRS
I
now
haven't
enabled.
not
DRS enabled.
I did not replace the engine components. Anyways, as Piastri gets round us on the outside, we're gonna defend on the inside. We're gonna turn in on him or dive down the inside while he's braking. So probably not the best there, but it is what it is. Sorry for the long episode, by the way, but this is just such a jam-packed race, in my opinion. I just like the race. I don't like the Bahrain track, like I said before, but it's a good race. It's purple sector 1, but that's not surprising because we were the first person to do sector 1 on the flying lap. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, as we go to a replay of lap 1, you can see Piastri. He should have actually got around the outside, but I decided to pull out and dive down the inside. And definitely a bit too late, maybe, but as you can see, 3 wide there for Sonoda, Russell, and Leclerc. Or no, Alonso and Leclerc. Russell, honestly, just trying to sit back and see what he can do, to be honest. So, yeah. Anyways, Alonso setting fastest lap in lap 3 also, yes, he was at lap 3, end of lap 2 into lap 3. Anyways, as we go to the end of lap 3 into lap 4, we set the fastest lap of the race to be immediately taken by Oscar Piastri and then George Russell. So Piastri on our attack with the DRS now that he has his DRS. We dive it down the inside, just get the car turned. He's still on our outside left, on our rear outside tire. We nearly leave the back end, but this is going to leave the door open maybe for Piastri. But thankfully, we have DRS going in and ERS, and we're going to be able to stay ahead heading into the middle part of lap 4, which is probably one of the harder parts. Turn 9 and 10 tend to be interesting ones, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Turn 11 too is underrated as well. Anyways, we brake hard for turn 9 or 8. Did I say? Wait, hold on. I'm not gonna lie. I mixed up the order of the turns all the time. So I apologize for that. This is the one I'm talking about. This is a tricky one, and then the one that follows is also tricky. I believe it's either 9 and 10 or 10 and 11. But anyways, Alonso overtaking Piastri and Russell and Sonoda. Leclerc is all the way down to P6. What a tragedy for the first lap. Starting the hard tire was not a good idea. But it was a good idea to start on the softs for Sonoda because he definitely gained some positions there, if I do say so myself. heading into lap 5. We just leave the car there, just drifting around the outside, really pushing on the limit. We had changed the brake bias to see if we can get some better braking performance, but Alonso had stunned. We go uber late on the brakes. We shut the door on him. Don't leave Alonso room, as he would be complaining about that. We have to leave his space, of course. But now we have DRS and DRS, so we'll be able to pull away from Alonso nearly 1 second, but we'll see if we can keep the DRS train. This is going back to lap 4. This is from, what, roughly over half a lap ago, anyways, what you were saying earlier. But Alonso overtaking Piastri, then Russell, Tsunoda, Antonelli, then Leclerc, and then Hamilton. So Ferrari having an absolute howler. Norris having a pretty good recovery. I don't know what tire he's on. Maybe he's on the soft tire, so maybe that's why. But he's having a good recovery up into P8 from 11. Gasly's P9, which is kind of crazy with the Alpines that high. Then it goes Hadjar, Sainz, Bortoleto, Albon, Lawson, and Hulkenberg outside the point. And Gasly's honestly doing a pretty good job keeping that Ferrari of Hamilton at bay, which is surprising. Anyways, we have a new strategy call from our engineer, but we also have a purple sector 1, which is pretty surprising. We clip the curve and we let the car run out, just keeping the tire in to keep it in track limits, upping the brake bias for this super hard on the brakes in turn 1. But we're using as much battery as we can to try to keep clear of Piastri and just try to keep him behind us as much as possible, if that makes sense. We almost lose the rear end of the car there. We almost lose it, and Piastri will 100% take advantage of that. And we won't have DRS. He will have DRS, but we have ERS to combat and slipstream. It goes super late on the brakes, and we just leave it nip and tuck, and Piastri keeps it clean. We keep it clean, but he just gets the move done. And unfortunately, through this, I like to say, S's section of this track, we will have dirty air, but we dive down the inside of Piastri, touching his floor with our front wing, so that might have given him damage. But let's see what we can do now. We switch it back down the inside of Piastri, but no, we go around the outside to see if we can get better traction leading into this long straight. And now we have DRS and ERS. We have traction, DRS, and ERS, and we absolutely torch Piastri heading in. But this tire wear, man, look at that. 36 and 21 is not too bad on the front right, but you know, on the two rears is not looking too good. High 30s, low 40s, or mid 30s and mid 40s, and then mid 30s again. The only one is the front right, which is in the 20s, but all the way roughly all around, you know, 35% roughly all around tire wear there. As we let Piastri through, and let's see who will have the DRS though. I believe it will be us. It will be us. So we have the DRS and we have the ERS too, so we can combat Piastri here. We empty it out. We're going down to the inside, then to the outside, going late on the brakes. Our tire temperatures are doing okay, but our brake temperatures are massively overheating. Mainly just because we were just in a huge heavy braking zone. That was nearly 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit early. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember if it's on Celsius or Fahrenheit. But anyways, as we have Russell and Piastri trying to take our lead away, both people that really neither of them. We don't want Piastri because he could very well become a championship rival, and we don't want Russell because Verstappen and Russell have beef. So we don't want any one of them getting past us. Piastri threatens to move around the outside, but we go down the inside. But Piastri torches us with a switchback down, round back the inside. So let's see if we can get this move done and stick it down the inside of this tricky turn. He keeps it slightly tidy. I maybe run a bit into him, but that gets us DRS, and Piastri will be forced to concede that position, and Russell will be on his tail. He's only a tenth off Piastri, so that's basically right up his gearbox. That's pretty bad there. Anyways, as we go into almost into lap 8, couldn't quite get that corner right, so Piastri will definitely have a better run here. So I'm using ERS. Unfortunately, the thing about that is we will have to use ERS here to negate the DRS of Piastri and Russell, honestly, because both of them can definitely catch us. We get a horrible exit out of the final turn, and Piastri is just toasting us. And let's see if we can maybe dive it back down the inside here. And we go
Okay, we
pretty much
lost the
as late on the
position.
brakes
Trying
as
to
we
keep
can,
focus.
and we squeeze it in and we keep the position. I can't believe Piastri went later on the brakes there, because I've seen the AI go, oh, we nearly leave the rear end. I've seen the AI go way later on the brakes in that specific turn. Like, I still had a relative wiggle room. I could have braked like 5 or 10 meters later and still made the corner. So, anyways, we did bang wheels with Piastri, but Piastri, he will keep the position. We are all over him here. It's been a good fight. That's why I showed all that racing at once, because that was a good fight, back and forth, just taking the position, late braking, switchbacks, un what's the opposite of switchbacks? Basically dive bombs, I guess you could say. But yes, Piastri does get the position, so now we'll have to defend from the Mercedes up towards Russell. Or no, sorry, our teammate Sonoda on the softs. But he's been on the softs for 8 laps, so surely he'll be coming in soon. Surely it should be this lap. 9 laps on the softs in a 50% race is pretty crazy. That's like the equivalence of doing basically 20 laps in a real race. So which could be done at some circuits, but being at Bahrain, really, I mean, it's pretty. It can be a pretty bad circuit in terms of tire wear. Anyways, but it's a double Red Bull podium at the moment, and I'm sure Sonoda will definitely be hoping for a red flag right now or a safety car as he does peel into the pits because he is on those soft tires, so he would benefit massively from that. Let's go to the replay and see if we can dive it down the inside of Piastri. We just try to dive it down, and we break a bit of our front wing, I think. I don't think it was a ton of damage. Maybe it was a bit more damage for Piastri, actually, than compared to us. But a bit unfortunate. I didn't really mean to do that, but it was what it is. As Piastri's in the pits,
Okay,
and
we can take you this
who's
lap.
this car in front of us? I don't know. Was that a lap car that was in front of us? Or was that? It looked like there's a car in front of us. Or am I might be tripping. Never mind. Anyways, we come into the pits the same lap as Piastri, so there will be no undercut or overcut for either of us because we're now on a level playing field. But we do get a 2.4-second stop, and I think we gained quite a bit of time to Piastri. Anyways, Russell comes in as well. Alonso comes in.
To go. Just one stop left in this strategy.
Pretty much everybody came in. And Sonoda undercuts every single one of us. Sonoda just undercut all of us. So he's gone from 8 to theoretically first. Net first. He's not on first on track, but if everybody else in front of us pits, he would be first. Which is kind of crazy. Insane work. Ocon up into P3. He hasn't pit. The 2 Ferraris, honestly, just holding on for dear life at this point. Leclerc, he comes into the pits. But Hamilton, he's ahead by 8 seconds, so he would be hoping for a safety car and massively benefit from that. But Leclerc falling all down the order. He came in way too late. That's several laps too late. To be fair, he was on the hard, but still, I mean, he just got undercut to oblivion, really. I mean, he's going to come out just in the points, just ahead of Gasly, I think, or just, yeah, just ahead of Gasly. So that's a real shame. He started on pole. He's not really going to be able to do much. It's a bit unfortunate, but it's good for us because, honestly, if we can just fight Piastri and not worry about Leclerc, I'm fine with that. Because honestly, in this game, I'm more scared of Leclerc than Piastri. So it is what it is. Anyways, we're sticking relatively behind Piastri. Russell's right behind us, and then Norris is behind Russell. So all 3 of those people could be some people that are contending for a title. Look at the tire wear. We have bad tire wear, and our front tires are still pretty badly worn.
They might make a mistake,
and Russell
just
still regain the position. Such a bad exit with that tracking, and we're kind of just really slow on these hards, to be honest. We're just driving so slowly, and you can see that as much as Norris is gaining. He's just getting a couple of 10 feet per corner. Although we did kind of get him there on that exit, or on that corner, but on the exit, he's gaining so much time on those mediums compared to our hards. As you can see here later on, Norris challenging for the move here. I believe that is the same lap 13. We do not have DRS. Norris will have DRS, so very crucial for our race win hopes to get in that DRS and to stop fighting our potential championship contender. Although, to be fair, right now, him and Piastri are championship contenders, but it's too early in the season to really tell who's going to be that main championship contender.
Okay,
but he's definitely one of them. Our contender dives down the down the inside of us into turn 3. We see if we can hit him with a switchback, but that is definitely not possible as Norris closed the door in. So we fall from P3 to P5, which is pretty unfortunate. Sonoda leads though. Excuse me. But it is Antonelli behind Leclerc, P7, and Gasly, P8. So both of them recovered relatively well. Alonso seems to get absolutely shafted in pits, or he has already hit twice, which doesn't make sense because then you would have to do more than half the race on one set of tires. So yes, Alonso I believe has gotten shafted, and Leclerc has also gotten shafted a bit as well. And we are actually under the limit of fuel, and I am bad at fuel saving. And I'm going to start using an ERS here, and I believe I have a higher wing than the AI in terms of when it comes to this race. So as we touch our front wing really quick. So it's not looking good here. It's really not looking good here. No DRS. Well, finally we have DRS. But other than that, no DRS, and our wing is higher, so it's slower and straight. And our tires, both of our front tires are still cold after, what has this been, 4 or 5 laps. So really not a good position. I mean, seriously, Gasly's caught up to us. So really not a good position here. And I'm honestly, at this point, I'm thinking, you know, I might want to pit in 1 or 2 laps for those mediums. I know I'd have to take the mediums for like 2 or 3 laps longer than I intended. I wanted to take the final medium stint 8 to 9 laps. But it looks like I might want to take them 10 to 11 laps. Simply because that's just what I might want to do. As Gasly threatens our threatens taking P7 from us, but eventually does not. We managed to get that back, but Gasly dives right to the outside, and so does Hamilton. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be able to dive down back the inside of Hamilton to get that position back. But I will not have that position on Gasly. I do have a ton of battery to use on both Hamilton and Gasly, but I look like I won't be able to. And send that from so far back on Gasly, and somehow still get traction. We squeeze him out. I'm honestly, at this point, I'm angry. I'm tired of fighting an Alpine for P8 after this ferocious hard tire stint. Couldn't quite get the front tires. I believe they're still not even fully warm yet. They're still cold in the front. In the rear tires they're warm, but in the front tires they're cold, which is important because you need that to turn the car. You need warm tires, but I still don't have them. Maybe because I'm not driving aggressively enough. I don't know. Maybe goodness gracious. But it is what it is. Still minus negative .08 laps of fuel left. Anyways, going on to lap 17.
Be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the
Gasly cruises past us in P5. So actually, our true position would be P6 because the Sonoda, maybe I believe it was Sonoda. Sonoda maybe. Yes, Sonoda. He came out in the pits, and so that means it's Piastri from Russell, then Leclerc, Gasly, ourselves, Gasly, people I still can't believe that. And Hamilton Sainz doing rather well as well. So lovely to see that. But honestly, we're just trying to get past Gasly as we're weaving around him, trying to get. Yes, we're slightly cutting the track, but I'm trying to get clear of that dirty air. We dive it down the inside of Gasly. Beautiful overtake. And we get the spot done. But now we have 10 seconds until we get to Leclerc. Who, to be fair, he's on a different strategy than us, but still. Russell, he has he pitted? No. Maybe he was on the mediums the whole time. So I think it was Piastri and ourselves that were on the hards, and maybe Russell was on the mediums? But I swear I saw him on the hards. Maybe he pitted and then... Interesting. Anyways, I don't know. I swear I thought I saw him on the hards. Maybe I'm just seeing ghosts or something. But it is what it is. As Hamilton tries overtaking us down the inside, actually gives it a pretty good job, to be fair. We shut the door on him. He can't clip our rear tire like he did at Silverstone this time. Sorry to try to throw it in there. Piastri, he's in the pits. Alright, so he's going to come out just near us then, I think. As Hamilton threatens our lead, but we try going around the outside, and let's see exactly what will get done from that. He will get the position. He will get the position, to be fair. Sorry, I'm kind of like lagging. As we get the DRS and ERS, and he
Consider changing mode on your
quite a
MFD,
bit too
or
late on the
lift a little
brakes,
with
but we
gentle
just
braking
get it
into
turned
corners
in.
to recharge it.
And this is the point, if you're wondering why I'm losing so much time, this is the point in the race where my, I let Hamilton do that just because I didn't really want to fight him. This is the point in the race where, look at my fuel. I have been doing a pretty good job at saving it. As I just completely cut the track. Anyways, didn't see that. I didn't see anything. Did you see anything? I see nothing. Anyways, it's a Ferrari 1-2 to be fair. So if there's a red flag, they'll be jumping for joy 100%. But anyways, about my fuel, I unfortunately put a little bit too much little fuel in there, and this is the point of the race where I need to pretty much have full push until the end of the race. And unfortunately, when it comes to saving fuel, I'm not good at it at all. So like I'm either quite a bit slower,
Push now, we're
or
boxing
like
this lap.
yeah, it just doesn't never. So you know, it is what it is. Anyways, he goes super late on the brakes, trying to overtake Hamilton, go deep against what again? Yet again. Goodness gracious, nearly lose the rear end there. But
And
we
that's
climb up
8
the
laps
gears.
of fuel remaining.
Lewis will have DRS back on us. He goes for a move down the inside. Let's see if we can go around the outside and keep the position or not. This is kind of like his duel with Rosberg, duel in the desert. These two rivals fighting in the Bahrain, and we will get the position done, and we get up and remain into P1. So at this point in the race, I'm saying, you know what? We're not pitting. We're staying with the one-stop strategy and really making these absolute dead tires last till the end. And Piastri dives out inside of Hamilton, and that's carbon fiber everywhere. So Piastri might have more damage on his front wing, and we take complete advantage of that with DRS as well. And we are trying to pull away from Piastri as much as possible. Obviously, his tires quite a bit fresher than ours. His car a little bit faster, but he also has damage, and he just doesn't have the same amount of racecraft. So let's see if we can keep this, let's see if we can keep this fight going. Let's see what we can do against Piastri. Heading into lap 23, we have DRS and ERS,
Okay,
and we
so we're leading our
absolutely
teammates
breeze by
by
Piastri before the braking
5.9
goes.
seconds.
And we have the normal racing line to follow. We go deep yet again. Unfortunately, with these older tires, I think I just need to reassess my braking point by about 5 yards. And also, I'm just not braking hard enough, I think. But that's also just because with these hard tires and these cold hard tires, I think I was locking up quite a bit. Yeah, but it is what it is. I'm not the best racing, as you can see. I've been racing. I started this series, the Max Verstappen series, at like 90 difficulty, and now I'm up at 95 to 97. And I've actually experienced in my team. I experimented a race with 100 difficulty, and then I also nearly losing the rear end there at lap 24, as there's a huge train behind us because we're using ERS expertly to keep behind people with DRS. Anyways, Piastri on these hards, by the way, they are fresher than ours, but eventually they won't be like so fresh that he won't have a massive advantage near the end of the race. Like his advantage won't be massive. Plus he has damage, so it will be relatively even, maybe a slight advantage to him, but relatively even. Anyways, as I was saying,
Box this lap, please.
not
Box this
the
lap.
best driver in the other engineer is still calling us the box. I'm not boxing when I'm fighting for the race lead. Piastri tries to attack us as Leclerc overtakes us, which is a very unfortunate timing for Piastri, because this might leave us as a lone driver here. It's going to be harder to overtake Leclerc because we got a bad exit, but we're going to use DRS and ERS to our strategy, and we do actually breeze by him pretty easily.
Good job.
We
Nice
go late on the
overtake.
brakes, dive it way too late yet again, but it is what it is. Anyways, as Leclerc, he overtakes us, and Piastri overtakes us. We dive down the inside for Leclerc for the race lead, and we just get it done with some contact there. We are about even on race fuel, as you can see there. We've done a relatively good job to conserve fuel. Anyways, we go on to lap 26. Leclerc with DRS and probably ERS. He bangs us. He he nudges us nearly off track, nearly causing us to crash. And everybody on hard tires, but we're on much older hard tires, so we slightly go off track there. But here's where I'm going to have to use a bunch of DRS to stay with Leclerc. He's going to get such a better exit, because one, the AI is always better on that corner, and two, I'm just, our tires are not nearly as grippy as Leclerc's. But let's see what we can do here, heading into lap 27, the second lap, no. I can't remember what lap last. Anyways, we're going to breeze past Leclerc. We're going to go so late that Leclerc is going to be able to get that position back. Maybe, but no, we keep the position on track. Keep the position. Anyways, as I was saying, this is the second to second last lap. That's what I meant to say. Anyways, let's see if we can get it here into turn 3. Just sliding the car around, just keeping the traction. And that was probably one of my better turn 3s, especially with how old these tires are. As when it comes to old hard tires especially, I'm just definitely not one of those drivers. As we let off the gas, trying to save gas, because with how crazy close the gaps are, if I can save fuel in the areas where it's hard to overtake, that'd be great. Because as we nearly lose the rear end there, and this will cause, as there's carbon fiber everywhere, this will cause Leclerc to maybe get that race lead heading into the second to last lap, but no, we go late on the brakes. Anyways, as I was saying, oh my days, this is great racing. Leclerc all over our rear end, and then it's Russell, and then Piastri, then Norris, so Norris having a good recovery race. But anyways, as I was saying, I honestly can't remember what I was saying. Oh yes, I need to save fuel because with how close the gaps are as Russell tries to dive around down the inside, and we hit the side pod of Russell. What was he doing? What was he trying to do there? He nearly took us out the race, and now we're not going to have enough DRS or ERS to attack Leclerc. We're going to fake attack to the inside. We're going to go around the outside, slightly cutting the track just to avoid running into him, because the AI tends to not carry as much speed in that turn, even though they don't carry as much speed, but they don't really lose that much time. But Leclerc, he's running away with it. He's already 1.1 seconds clear and heading on to the second to last lap, nearly into the last lap of the race. We are 3 seconds clear of Leclerc. Piastri will dive it out on the inside, but that's just going to give us DRS, and we should, if we use our DRS smartly here, breeze by him. But we shall see as we go to Piastri with DRS and ERS. Let's see if we can get that position. We dive, fake the dive down the inside. We go around the outside. Sorry, kind of glitch there. A bit laggy here. Anyways, as I was saying, and frame rates for me just bouncing in. I don't know if you guys got that frame rate, but anyways, we're nearly out of ERS. Thankfully, we had DRS to defend from Piastri here. And there will only be one more DRS zone, which will be very hard to overtake. But we still will need to defend for our lives, as we are positive on fuel. Piastri tries to go around the outsides. Maybe he can set up a switch back here. No, he will not be able to. And so we're going to really try to defend here, because every millisecond counts at this point in the race. It is so close. I mean, we could genuinely end up without a podium here if we don't play our games right, as we nearly lost the car, and so did Piastri. Both of us nearly losing the car. Piastri sees if he can dive down the inside. Russell also on our gearbox, but we sweep around the outside to keep P2. Let's see if we can keep P2 for the rest of the race, aka the next quarter of a lap, as we go to the long back straight. We just get the car turned, and we are out of DRS. So we are going to need to recharge here as Piastri dives down the inside. We dive down the inside of Piastri. Piastri locks up. He goes into our side pod. Leclerc, as you can see there, is the race winner. But we are on a drag race with no Russell and Piastri. Will we be able to get it? What is this? Is this P3, P4?
Okay, pick up
It
rubber
is going
and
to
bring it
be P4, and we just narrowly miss out on a podium. So very unfortunate. We miss out to our rival, George Russell. We miss out to one of our potential championship rivals, Piastri, and Leclerc wins. So very unfortunate. But as you can see here, Leclerc winning the race. I don't know what's wrong with the sound effects. It's like
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category.
It's sounding the pit crew
every lap. I mean,
sound
what
effects
more
there
can we
when
say?
they're clapping and stuff. Don't know what that's about, because like that's Because, you know, when you go into the pits, that's some of the sound effects you hear. So when the podium ceremony happens, you'll hear those sound effects. So, sorry about
What
that.
a
You
day
can hear
it's
it now.
been for
Anyways, let's
Formula
enjoy
One.
the
What a
podium
day
celebration.
it's been for these three drivers. Time for the podium celebrations. Time for our drivers to celebrate. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc. Charles Leclerc on top.
Anyways, now that the podium celebration is over, let's just look a replay at this insane ending heading into the final lap. Carbon fiber going everywhere. The last lap of the race, look at that.
Well, what an end
So
to another
close
fantastic
that
weekend of
was.
racing. Thanks to
Russell
everyone who
just
joined
sneaking
us,
ahead,
and we'll
getting
see
better
you for the
tracks, which
next
is
one.
unfortunate. Sonoda, P5, excuse me, sorry, Lando, gets to P6, which is pretty good. But look at that gap there between me and Leclerc. That is a couple hundredths of a second. That is like one. I'm doing my math right. That's not even 100th. I think it's a couple thousandths, like 8 thousandths. Anyways, let me know if you guys enjoy this one. Sorry, this is a long one, but crazy race as you can see. But please smash that like button. Please subscribe. Please comment if you would like. Check the link down below for some Lego F1 cars that I actually really find interesting. If you love Lego and F1 like myself, please check those out and have an amazing, awesome day. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.